Neal,
Welcome to the Prem Pulse Podcast with your host Neal Samru, a long-time West Ham fan, no longer in the Premiership, and Barry O'Brien, a retro 80s Arsenal supporter. Welcome to the new season, 2026-27 Premier League season. Hold on to your seats, Barry.
time to defend it. Time to defend it.
There,
Off we
there.
go, mate. Don't we? This evening, Arsenal Coventry kicking off in less than 3 hours.
Kicking off, brother.
Exciting times. Exciting times.
Well, welcome back, listeners, and Barry, for a new season of
Yeah,
Premier
absolutely.
League football, mate.
I know. It
Minus
doesn't.
West Ham.
It won't be the same without the Hammers, will it?
Oh, we can go on to that about my thoughts. I mean, we've heard a little bit about it, but it is a little bit connected to the Premier League, Fantasy League football. But there you go.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
mate, nice to see you.
You too. You too.
Excited for Arsenal defending their title.
The title, absolutely. Yeah, check out the one-off episode that we done recently, all about my thoughts on Arsenal, where you interviewed me, Neil, didn't you? And gave my thoughts on us defending the title and the potential of us becoming invincible. But on today's show, we just want to. you, you like that one?
Potential. I like you just pop that one, squeeze that one in there quickly.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, this show, we're going to talk about the Premier League in general, the highs and the lows, and cover off our thoughts on who's going to win it and who's going to be the stars and who's going to fluff their lines and end up back down in the Championship with West Ham next season.
So you got high hopes for us to make an automatic return. I don't.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
So let's
Action-packed episode today, mate.
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's been
Now to the real side of it, isn't it? You know, all the warm up beforehand and World Cup. And now we're back, mate. Exciting.
Yeah. Transfer market's still obviously ongoing, and we'll kind of get around to our thoughts on that. But let's start with the first kind of question, as in who's going to win it and who's going to be top four. So, question for you, mate: who do you think will win the Premier League next season?
Season? I'm begrudged to say this. We spoke about that instead of the Arsenal pod, but I think Arsenal are the ones to beat. I mean, they're the reigning champions. We talked about it before. Stability in the club, made some decent transfers. More to come in probably. They had Konza come in
Yeah,
today.
it's been confirmed today, hasn't it?
51 million. They needed him as well. So after Saliba's injury, so I think Arsenal are the ones. That's where my money is at the moment.
Okay.
Top four, the other three. I have a sneaky feeling about Man United. I think they finished in the top three last season. I wonder if they're going to build on that, but I can see them finishing in the top four.
Yeah.
You
Give me
know,
your order, mate. First, second,
Chelsea,
third,
right?
first, second, third, and fourth.
Arsenal, Man U, Chelsea, and do you know what? You're not going to be pleased with this one. I'm going to say Tottenham. My boys out there, Tottenham fans, Darren and Mark. Well, actually, not Mark anymore, but Tottenham fans. I got a sneaky feeling about Tottenham and De Zerbi after they sent us down.
You haven't forgiven.
Yeah, but he's a good manager, isn't he? And they're spending bundles on. So that's going to be my top four. That's going to be controversial. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think Arsenal will win it, and I think slightly different top four. So I'm going Arsenal first. I'm going to go Liverpool as runners up, and Chelsea third, and Manchester United fourth. So I think what's interesting, though, both of us have kind of ruled Man City out of the top four for the coming season. I mean, why do you think? What's your thoughts? Why do you think they won't make the top four?
But I just wrote this down as well because I left out Liverpool in my top four as well. I think this huge transition, is Pep Guardiola, look at the amount of trophies they won over the 10 years that he was
Yeah.
for Maresca to come in and just replicate not replicate, but follow on that success of Man City. I don't see it happening automatically, even with the players they have. And I know Savinho again is a transfer we went through today. I'm jumping the gun here a bit about the
Yeah,
transfers. Gone to Tottenham. Mamouche, there's talk about him also going to Tottenham.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't have my faith doesn't lie. Every season was like under Guardiola, yeah, guaranteed champions or there and thereabouts.
yeah.
I'm not convinced. I think they're going to go for a transition period. Actually, Liverpool. I mean, what do you think about Man City?
No, I'm with you. Obviously, I don't think they'll be in the top four either. I think, yeah, too many big players gone. Rodri's obviously the main one, and
Yeah,
the stats
big
don't
time.
support them doing well without him.
Yeah,
I think John Stones obviously a big character around the place. Um, yeah, a few obviously a few others have gone as well. Um, so yeah, I think too much disruption.
yeah.
Manager, senior players. I just don't think that they'll have enough to really,
Gel that quickly to be
yeah, gel that quickly. I'm not sure how popular this manager will be. Um, the only other one just outside of, neither of us mentioned Aston Villa, did we?
Oh,
Obviously, we had Kev, Aston Villa fan, on recently, but
sorry,
check out
Kev.
that episode if you're listening in. Could they? I mean, obviously, they're in the Champions League. They've notoriously kind of dropped off a bit if they've got Champions League football. And, I think 4 or 5 of their senior first team have all left or are leaving. So they've been quite disruptive, but they've also signed quite a few interesting players and they've still got a good manager. So could they possibly get in the top four? But I think it's really interesting. It's very open actually for the
Yeah.
top four this season. I can't see you mentioned Spurs, but even with all their signings, I can't see. You think they finished fifth or fourth from bottom, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to do such a massive point swing? That's a massive change in
I-
in
I'm
results.
going
I
to
know
tell
they've
you
got obviously a
why.
lot of different players, but
I'm going to tell you why, mate.
go on
And
then.
let's just go back to Villa. And, Kev, sorry about it. I also think because their squad has been decimated by all the transfers that all the big players, older players, yes, they brought in younger players in. Will they be able to get up to speed in the Premiership? Will they be able to gel to be top four contenders? The
Mhm.
thing with the transfers that Tottenham have made, Tonali, experienced Premiership footballer, right?
Yeah,
Fernandez played in Premiership with Southampton and West Ham and a top player. Right now,
yeah,
they're going to go for Savinho. They brought the Brighton defender in. Was it Brighton defender they brought in?
yeah, yeah.
Big money as well. So the squad for me that De Zerbi is putting together, it looks quite impressive, to be honest with you. And
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 they've
adding to
got no
that,
European football either, right? So they can concentrate.
exactly, exactly. And then De Zerbi is a good manager. And I said to you, coming when De Zerbi went to Tottenham, when they were in trouble 7 games ago, I said to you, and I said to the podcast, I said, I don't think West Ham are going to survive. I rate De Zerbi, and I think now that they've got him in after they sacked the other guy,
Yeah.
Tudor, Tottenham were going to survive it, and they did by the last game of the season by winning to Everton. So that's my reasons for that. I think they are assembling a really strong squad with Premiership players, top players, paying big money for it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well. So that's my surprise one to throw in there.
Okay. Interesting.
But I didn't add
Uh,
Liverpool, and you added Liverpool.
hmm, yeah. I just think again, I'm not 100% confident with them because again, they've got issues in defence. They've lost quite a few players as well. Senior players, and I'm not sure whether the new manager will be able to carry the pressure of Liverpool on his shoulders. But that's why I think it's going to be interesting to see for sure. Okay, so at the top, we've covered off our top fours. What about down the bottom then? Who's going down?
Well,
Three teams.
should we remind our listeners about who came up then? So Ipswich, Coventry, and Hull
Yeah, Hull came up through the playoffs, didn't they? So
all down. No, I'm
they're
kidding.
they're the least prepared team.
I think because McKenna's still the manager at Ipswich.
No, he's gone.
Has he gone?
Yeah, it's Gary O'Neill, I think now, the former is he Wolves or something.
Where did McKenna go?
He just took some time off. He hasn't got a job.
Oh,
He wanted to chill.
spend time with the family.
Yeah, that's the classic time, right?
Yeah. Who wants to spend time with the family? Okay. Well, then that's interesting because I'm thinking that actually, if I just cut this long story short, which I should do, I think Coventry will stay up with Frank Lampard.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think they'll stay up. And then I think,
interesting.
so I do think Ipswich will struggle, and I think Hull will struggle. Hull
Yeah,
will definitely struggle.
I think Hull are
Uh,
the whipping boys.
so then who would go down? If Coventry stay up, who would go down? Hmm.
Yeah,
It's so tough, isn't it, the Premiership these days? You would think like
small margins, isn't it? Small margins.
Brentford, and all, but they're good teams now. Sunderland,
Yeah, won't be either of them two. I have one in mind, but I'm interested to hear what you're going to say. Are
Fulham.
you going for that, or are you asking me who I've
I
got in mind?
don't know. I'm kind of 50-50, isn't it? I'm like trying to, I don't know who would go down. Hull, Ipswich, and who's the other teams? I've got to think of those other mid-table
Do you want me
teams.
to tell you my thoughts?
Go on, go on.
I think it'll be Leeds. I think they will struggle again. They were quite in and around that last season, weren't they?
Well, I better take the what's it, Calvert,
Calvert
Lewis,
Lewin.
yeah, Lewin out of my team then. On my fantasy league team. Yeah, you
Yeah,
could be on something there. But who do you think will do that? Leeds?
yeah. I could see Coventry staying up,
Yeah.
but I will say Leeds, Ipswich, and Hull.
Mm,
They will be my three.
mm. Sorry, Fulham
Um,
fans out there, but they did struggle as well last year, isn't it?
yeah,
And they got a new manager, the ex-Real Madrid
yeah. I
manager.
don't think. I mean, Forest obviously struggled for quite a bit, but I think with Glasner, the former Palace manager, I think they're going to do really well actually.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, Fulham got the former Real Madrid manager. I think they'll probably be all right. So just for me, I think I think Sunderland will be all right, and I think it'll be between those four. I think it'll be like still Coventry will be down there, but I think it'll be Leeds and Ipswich, Hull, and Coventry. Then kind of Forest, and I think Brentford will be all right. They've got a good team, got some good signings.
Well, they were favourites to go down last season, and look what they
Yeah,
did with a
ended
new
up in
manager.
Europe, and Sunderland as well, right? Sunderland were expected to drop back down.
Yeah. So
So
trying to establish themselves. Barry, just quickly then, for our listeners and for ourselves, can we you mentioned Glasner, I totally forgot about that, but he's taken over at Forest from Palace. So the new managers that have come into this season. So we have Glasner at Palace, Iriola at Liverpool.
yeah,
Fill in the gaps for me.
you put me on the spot here.
Alonso at Chelsea.
Yeah,
The Real Madrid guy at
Fulham.
Fulham. What's his name?
Yeah,
Arab. Oh, I forget his name now. You know me in pronunciations.
yeah.
Ariola, but Arab. Blah, blah, blah. Um, so we got Glasner, Iriola, Fulham bloke from Real Madrid,
Yeah, I mean the Ipswich
Oldbury,
manager's new, right?
Ipswich manager Gary O'Neill. That's
Yeah,
fine. Was that
Newcastle.
Newcastle,
Yeah,
the German guy.
Liverpool. You got Liverpool and
I've named Liverpool, Iriola.
Man City.
Man City, Maresca.
Yeah, I mean Tottenham, kind of
Tottenham-ish,
new.
you could say. Seven,
Yeah,
8.
Bournemouth.
For real, Bournemouth as well. Yeah, that's 9.
There was 10 at the last count we did, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm trying to go through the list now because that's why it's going to be interesting this season as well. So out of the 20 teams in the Premiership, we've got like 10 new managers.
Yeah,
So this is why, going back to your original question about who's going to win the title, that's why you have to have your money on Arsenal winning the title. Um, and they should win it comfortably, to be honest with you. But I say that it's a long season. This is the first game tonight, so it'll be interesting with Villa, Arsenal Villa tonight as well. So you get spanked.
Arsenal. It's Arsenal Commentary tonight. We've got
Oh, Coventry, sorry, and then it's
yeah, got
Villa.
Villa next after that.
That's
So
it. That's it. That's it. But that's an easy 3 points. Like I said on the podcast of the Arsenal, like Welcome to the big time. Welcome to the Premiership commentary. How many years they've been out? 20 years or something like that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the 10th one is sorry. I was just looking through the 10th one is obviously Palace, right? Because they've replaced Glasner.
Of course.
Yeah,
10 new
so
managers.
but I don't know who the manager is there. Oh, it's isn't it? Is it a German guy at
You
Palace?
see, he came from a French team, like Lyon or Lille or something like that.
Could be. Yeah, we'll have a look. That's what I
Look at
mean,
us,
but it's
look at
unheard
us
of, right?
experts. So
Nah, I mean, yeah, Pierre Sage.
there you go. We were there. We were there. So
We've
much
got
has
that.
been happening. That's why. Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it's unheard of for there to be 10 new managers, starting the season, including, Tottenham manager, isn't it? I mean, that's just half the league has new managers. I mean, that's got to count for something, isn't it? I mean, in
crazy.
giving advantage to all the ones that are still there, and you know, most of the kind of squads and stuff are there
Mm.
to help them. If you took a kind of Villa and Arsenal and even like
Mm.
Sunderland and Brentford, teams that have got a stable management team. It's not just a manager; it's
Brighton.
a management team, right? It's always the
Yeah.
coaches and
Yep.
the people that are around the club as well, right? So lots of people were pretty, unstable in their kind of, not settled, moving to new cities and trying to managers are trying to make their impact, which moves on quite nicely to another question then. So which manager do you think is going to get the chop first?
That's so see, just that silence, because so hmm,
I
I think
I've got to.
Maresca.
Do you? Interesting. Why is that?
I've been thinking
Back
about
up.
this today, actually, not preparing myself for the podcast, but just preparing for the new season. I just think if they don't hit the ground running, they're just going to say, you know what? Because what City have achieved over the past 10 years,
Hmm.
if you're not able to kind of, like I said, start challenging and after the first 5 to 10 games and you're not showing any kind of forward movement or
Yeah.
com be able to compete, I think
Yeah.
I think they're going to be ruthless. Uh,
Right.
that's what I think.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, he's obviously a City guy, though, right? Because he's obviously been there as a
Mhm.
coach and stuff, so he's got a little bit of
But
kind of
Barry,
credit.
but they talk about this. I mean, but things change, isn't it, at the club and so on. So yes,
Yeah,
they want him back, but and he was obviously assistant to Guardiola, but does the, Guardiola was the one there calling all the shots, and because Maresca
mm,
obviously was at Chelsea and they got rid of him. Is it going to be that smooth transition they're hoping for?
I
I
don't
don't
know. Or do you
know.
think
I
they're?
doubt
Do you
it.
think Man City are going to turn into the new Chelsea, where they're going through a, you know, two managers a season kind of patterns?
It's going to be, like I said, I think Maresca will go, but it's going to be interesting. They need a top world-class manager in terms of what they've achieved and the aspirations they have, and to keep those levels as well. And they have the
Yeah,
players, they have the money. Obviously, they're selling players as well,
yeah,
too. So yeah,
yeah. See, he really wants Enzo Fernandez, doesn't he, to join him from Chelsea? So we'll see whether that
true that, true that.
goes over the line.
What about
So,
you?
I think it might be the Newcastle manager. I think
Hmm.
he's going to struggle to get the fan base on side. I think Eddie Howe was so popular with the Newcastle fans and the Newcastle press, like the media up in Newcastle. I don't think this guy is he's going to be very popular if they don't do well. If they start really, really badly, I think the vultures will be out for him. So I'm gonna say him, the Newcastle manager.
You see, the thing for me with that is, I just hope it's like the Brighton manager, uh, young manager coming from abroad, because he is young. He's done well at the Salzburg and all these other, what's it?
Yeah,
Went to Saudi Arabia. There's something about him, and I would like Newcastle to give him the opportunity, like to
yeah.
stick with him.
Matthias Yassel, is that how you say his
Yeah,
name?
we mentioned him in another
Mm,
podcast, isn't it? Because these managers do need time, and I think Newcastle, like again, Tonali going, Yuma is going. Um,
Yeah.
Isak before the season before. Again, they're trying to bring in players not even wanting to go to Newcastle as well, because so
Mm,
it'll be interesting to see what he can put into the mindset and the strategy and the game plan for the team that he has and what he wants to see them do. And I hope that succeeds.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. So on to the next question then. So which team do you think are going to be a surprise team? Who's going to kind of overperform?
Hmm. You can tell we haven't prepared for this. You can tell this is
Put your
not
spot.
scripted. It's scripted. Well,
Spontaneous reaction.
then I suppose I have to go back to Tottenham then, but it's not the one I'm thinking of, right? But you mentioned where Tottenham finished fourth from bottom, and if they get into the top four, like I predict, they're gonna overperform. But they're a big club, so you expect them to do that. But what I'm looking at is some of the more smaller clubs where you just think smaller, you know, um, the other teams outside of the top spot
Yeah.
or top six.
Well, like
I
the
wonder if
Bournemouths.
Sunderland will pull out a surprise, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously they got into Europe. I mean, they were definitely a surprise team last year, right? Because they came up and everyone was expecting them to get relegated, and then they
But
ended
I
up
think they're going to do
getting
even
a
better. I think they're
getting a
going to,
getting a season in Europe, didn't they? So,
yeah. But I think they're going
um,
to do even better this season. And that's
so you
what I
think they
mean.
might push into the like Champions League spot, for instance?
Yeah, possibly. So,
Okay.
I don't want to say, oh, Coventry, because, but these, when I think about these teams, I think Sunderland is that going to be that surprise team.
Okay. Interesting.
And
Yeah.
yourself?
Um, I think Brentford for me are, they did
Uh,
well last season and they got a good manager. Again, obviously their manager changed before last season, right? So they
yeah.
were getting kind of predicted to be relegated. They lost a few senior players and obviously ended up in Europe as well. So yeah, I think them and Brighton, I think
Mm,
could be pushing closer to Champions League spots if the big six, big eight, however you want to define it, you
stumbling.
know start stumbling a bit. Yeah. So I'll say I'll put my pin my hat on Brentford.
You see, and that's interesting because both of them, Brentford and Sunderland, getting European, doing very well. But like I said, it's about surprise. But will they be able to push forward, push on,
Yeah.
and achieve even bigger heights? And
Yeah.
both of us are kind of saying a similar kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should write these down and keep them a record. Top four, our surprise package, relegation.
We can
Our
we can take
listeners can remind us throughout the season
yeah,
we're
exactly.
totally wrong.
Yeah, we can get a transcript or something and keep a track of it for the end of the season, see how we did. What about who's going to underachieve then? Which club do you think have high expectations and basically won't deliver?
And I got two in mind. I have Liverpool and Man City.
Mm,
I haven't mentioned Chelsea. And the reason being, right, these three clubs, big clubs, but I do see, and I think Alonso's a good manager. I think Riola's big. Man City, I think they're going to underachieve this season. I think they're going to do a
yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah. Not to the not that they'll end up being mid-table probably, but
No, but
their kind of expectation is to be winners or runners up, really, isn't it?
you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Our listeners will be like, Neil, what are you talking about? Because they have Haaland. They bought
Yeah,
Anderson for big money, and they have other players. So it sounds like I'm being crazy talking about Man City, but there's just something doesn't sit well with me regarding Maresca. I think it's about Maresca,
yeah.
to be honest with you.
No, I
What
agree
about
with you.
yourself?
Um, I won't say Man City as well because although I do agree it's an obvious one, but go with someone else.
Just to be a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think Tottenham. Will underachieve based on the amount that they've spent and then probably will have spent by the end of the transfer window. I think, although I think they'll do better than last season, I just think like this manager. I mean, although you speak about him keeping them up, he didn't exactly get great results. I know that was a
It's
lot of
seven
praise.
games, man, and he won. Basically, if the Zebra didn't come in, Tottenham would have gone down, or West Ham would have stayed up, bro.
Mm,
To be honest with you, and it
yeah,
could go down to the last game of the season, but that is the Premiership. That's the drama of the Premiership, you know.
yeah,
And they scraped a 1-0 win over Everton. That's what they needed.
yeah.
But then now he's putting together a squad. But it's interesting you say that because it could well happen, mate. Especially the cash they spent on.
Well, the team's got to click, right? I mean, they always say, don't they? If you've got a squad, you should never really make more than three or four changes. If I don't know, if you're swapping out how many players from those ones they've bought are going to go straight into the first team, it's probably a good five, isn't it? That's a massive. I mean, you've got to really get them playing together as a team, and that takes time to build, doesn't it? And
Yep.
if you lose a couple of games, everybody loses kind of belief in the manager and the
You,
style and
you talking about West Ham here?
well, many teams, mate. You're not the only one that it
Yeah.
happens to, right? So yeah, I think I think there's going to be a lot of teams that really struggle and can't get that rhythm going that you need. So yeah, so I
Exactly.
think Tottenham will be the underachiever, just really purely based off of what they spent. I think Chelsea would do all right.
Yeah, I think they do all right. It's funny, right? The reason why I just want to have to always like put it with a West Ham angle in there. I'm thinking the same with West Ham and the transfers we've recently made over the past week or two. Another one we got today was a young kid who was at our academy, left when he was like 16 and went to Man City, and we've loaned him back, and he's turning 19 this weekend. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, attacking midfielder as
Okay.
well. And, we're trying to put together a squad that's going to compete in a championship to get automatic promotion, but it has to click. And this is where my
Yeah.
worry is. And this is why I think about Man City and to a point Tottenham. But I think the Zebri is, he's a hard taskmaster, mate.
Yeah. Exactly.
He don't mess about and he doesn't mince his words either.
No, it's he's quite emotional from
I,
what's
I like these kind of managers, not like Arteta, where he just goes, "Oh yeah, he's always behind his players and blah blah blah." He's never done anything wrong. We're perfect, and the Zebra call it as he sees it, as Guardiola did. See what I'm saying? Arteta,
yeah.
not
I
very
think Arteta
confident.
does it behind the scenes. I don't think he's one to do it. He's learned from Wenger, right? You kind of you don't air your dirty washing. You
Yeah,
keep
but
it.
yeah, I understand, but it's still like it's not. It's a bit dishonest. You know what I mean? Tell you as I see it. We were rubbish. We should be
Yeah,
doing much better. And I think that's a frustration from a lot of fans when they listen to Arteta as well. Is that my
yeah.
first Arsenal dig of the season? There'll be many
Snidey mark,
more. There'll be many more.
snidey remarks.
There'll be many more.
All right, final bit. Best signing then for any club. Who do you think is going to be the best signing of the season?
I think this is a difficult one, right? Because
Mm,
obviously we're following the transfer market and there's loads of big money moves made. I mean, I think we're going to probably break the Premiership record for money spent this
yeah,
season. I think we're close to 2.5 billion already with 2 weeks to go, or something like that.
right.
I think it's going to be a player I don't know, a player that maybe, like I said, Sunderland have brought in or Brentford have brought in.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know the players' names. But I think
yeah. I mean,
next
the
few
guy.
weeks.
So this we spoke before we came on, didn't we, about this Sangare from Lens. Obviously, Lens had a really good season in Ligue 1 in France and ran PSG quite close.
Mm,
So he's joined Brentford. So I think he's going to be a good addition for Brentford. And yeah, I mean, from the big guns. I mean, obviously from Arsenal's point of view, I think Guimaraes will be really good. I mean, again, how do you judge a player? I mean, Morgan Rogers is obviously most expensive. You've got Elliot Anderson, obviously gone to Man City, but I mean, Tielemans going to Man United is probably quite a good signing, right? 41 million euros, as long as he stays fit. But yeah, I mean, how do you define a good signing? I mean,
yeah,
it's
because
really
it's
return
not.
on investment in some ways, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
one, do you do you consider a player that obviously scores a lot of goals and has been very cheap? Like it's quite
Well,
kind of
this is exactly what I was thinking. Is it your bargain bucket stuff that just
mm,
comes and just flourishes, and then Chelsea or another team comes and want to bid 100 million after one season with this 20, 21-year-old
yeah.
because they just
I mean,
had
look at
a standing
if you
season with Brentford or Brighton or something.
yeah, that's I mean, if you look at last year, I mean, you look at someone like Krupi, right, who came in, I think, at Bournemouth and had a amazing sort of first season, didn't he? And suddenly he's getting rumours of kind of being transferring to other clubs. That's a kind of example of a breakout star, isn't it? And but I think,
Caicedo is another.
sorry,
Caicedo when before he went to Chelsea, young player
yeah,
at Brighton as well. And the same could be said for like Anderson,
yeah,
going from Forest
Forest,
to Man City for 100 mil plus,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's something like that. There's one easy going back to Villa and our podcast that we did with the super fan Kev.
yeah.
He mentioned the player.
Joe Gomez, didn't he? The Wolves player
Yeah,
signed for 40 million euros,
but wasn't
but
there
he,
some kid he talked about as well? Uh,
yeah, he was talking about. I think he's come up through the
and he didn't
through.
have the visa and stuff, but now they sorted it out, isn't it? He's
I
like
don't know. I thought
17,
I thought
18
he'd
years
come up through
old.
the youth team or something.
Yeah, but again, a breakthrough player. He's a 17,
Yeah, yeah,
18 year
breakthrough.
old.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you guys watched the game. You said he made a few chances. I think he put on the assist as well. So it's a player like that, to keep our eyes on. And that's why it's going to be so interesting from my point of view, not being in the Premiership.
yeah. You can look through a different lens, can't you?
Yeah, totally. Being frustrated, for the earlier game and blah, 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 and crappy championship, which is the toughest league in the world, to be honest with you. To get promoted from the championship is proper hard work. 48
Yeah,
games, something like that, 46 games. But it's one of these players I'm thinking about.
yeah. I mean, just looking at Brighton's signings. Well, they actually signed a guy from ICOR, right? So this guy,
Mhm.
Johanna from ICOR, Swedish Stockholm team, right winger. It could be someone like that, right? Signed for 28 million euros.
What?
Yeah, might have a massive season. It's
What?
only 19,
What's his name?
and Zadok Johanna, and
Right.
yeah, so players like that they've signed like
See,
right
that's our
winger.
Nordic touch this week. Did Brighton buy a player from IE Core? We have a lot of mates who are IE Core fans, so big shout out to the Stockholm IE Core
Yep.
fan base. Uh, 28 million euros.
Mm. And
It
I
must
mean,
be a
also,
record for Swedish transfer
yeah, probably to the Prem. Yeah,
to the
could well be.
Prem.
But they also signed a guy from like Benfica's B team. Like this is what Brighton do, right? A right winger.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like one to keep an eye on, isn't it? It's like, okay, what have they spotted there,
What do
scouted?
they
So
know about the other? This is why I get so frustrated because Brighton have this model where they pick up players and they
mm,
sell them for big cash, you know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it's actually the same guy. They might have already been loaned out because he's quite young, but that's the ones to keep an eye on, isn't it?
definitely.
So quite interesting. So final question for you then for today's episode: who do you think will get the Golden Boot, top goal scorer in the Premier League this season?
Blimey, mate, you could put me on a spot here, aren't you? Like all these questions.
You'll go safe, wouldn't you? You go Haaland.
But the thing is with Haaland, I was doing my fantasy league football team today in preparation for the game, and I could not put Haaland
How, c-
in. At 15 million, the next strikers are like 9 million. Haaland was like 15 mil. It's like crazy
how
kind
can
of
you how
money.
can you afford to leave him out though, mate? He's such a big
I can't.
point, points gatherer.
The thing is, I put other players in I think could gather points because how can I can't put him in. How am I going to make up my team with 15 million going on him? Then you're going bargain bucket. So, you
Eating
can't put
up.
the other.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have to be smart if I'm going to go 3-4-3. And that's normally what the setup I play. So I kind of went differently. Haaland,
Are you are
again,
you are you
do I
giving yourself
see?
thinking time here?
Do I
If I
see? No, but the thing is, do I see? Maresca and Man City doing what they've done before
Bits.
and giving Haaland the chances. Haaland will always score goals, but I almost put Isak in my team today because I was thinking maybe he's going to be the surprise package. You know,
Could well be, yeah, if he's fully fit again, which he looked quite lively at the World Cup, didn't he? But he also looked a bit lost at times as well. So I think he needs
yeah.
some time to get back up to rhythm.
Mr. Barry, you put me on a spot here. Top. All right, I'm going to do like this. I'll play it safe. It's going to be between Isak and Haaland.
Okay, interesting.
What
No
about you?
Tiago from Brentford. You're not
He's in my team. I put him in my
okay.
team with Yao Pedro from Chelsea. Can't remember the other striker I've got as well. Maybe it was Isak.
No, Rashford back at Man United.
That's interesting, isn't it? You know, with Carrick,
Mm.
new manager, but he hasn't played under Carrick. If they could integrate Rashford back into the team, because obviously he was doing a job at Man United. Hence why I put Man United in my top four. He finished in second after Arsenal as well. Um, what do you
No, I
think?
think that's a fair shout. I think those two. I think also, I mean, potentially Gyökeres, right? I mean, João Pedro at Chelsea. It's all going to be the top teams again, isn't it? I think most likely.
You got me
So
second guessing my fantasy league team now. Like I've got a couple hours before I go on there. So I've
Kai
got
Havertz.
nah, what are you talking about, God, Alex? The golden boot. Of course he has the
Yeah,
opportunity, you know what I mean? And he does give
never
you
know.
goals. You never know. But he's one of a player who is competent enough to score goals. But
Probably outside bet would at Nottingham Forest again. He was unfit a lot of last season. If he's fit, he always scores.
dude, I was thinking about putting him in my team. So I got Calvert-Lewin, Yao
I'd have
Pedro.
Wood before Calvert-Lewin.
Maybe I should check. Yes,
I
good
think.
shout. Got the phone it.
You're the one who's won it 4 times in a row, so I think you could
Yeah,
by now
three
trust
times.
your
I'm
own
going for
judgment, right?
a four-peat as well. So I got Yao
Yeah,
Pedro, Thiago, because I got like Fernandez, Semenyo, Mbeumo, and your boy, the Greek boy, as
yeah.
like the other
Solis, it's a
Solis
good one.
in midfield. Mikhailovic from Forest, Gabriel, and O'Reilly in my defense.
Okay. I
So I'll
think you should
see
look
if
at
I can.
Erdegaard this year as well, because I think he might be a bit of an assist king this year.
I was thinking, but
Yeah, not got the space.
yeah,
Good
exactly.
stuff, mate. All right. Well, for me, as I say, I'm going to go Haaland to get the golden boot. I think it's a no-brainer unless he gets injured. But
Yeah, he doesn't get injured, does he?
no, I think
He's just
it's a machine.
a machine, you know, just like
Machine.
yeah. I sometimes think Barry, right? Can you imagine playing against like as a defender against Haaland? You know, he just like you know what he did against Gabriella, Norway, Brazil, where he just went like this,
World Cup. Yeah, just pushed it.
yeah, well done, get off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't wait for that to repeat, not repeat itself for that.
Well, we had
Duel.
it last weekend. He didn't do too well, did he? Against in the Community Shield,
True, I didn't
he had a
see
rubbish performance. He looked exhausted. I think they got him back too quick.
that.
Right, let's wrap up. I've got to iron my lucky underpants, ready for the match in 2 hours' time, as we officially kick off the Premier League season, the road to glory,
We're
something
back.
like that. Good stuff. Thanks for your time, mate. Thanks everybody for listening. It's been another good show, and we will catch you on the next episode. See you later. Bye bye.
Later. Bye bye.